I'm just doing this live just because I want to. I'm bored. I don't know how long I'm going to be on. I'm kind of chilly right now. The air conditioning's on and it's still muggy outside. And we found a ground nesting yellow jacket community going on in our front garden. So Rudy went out and basically doused it with some stuff that I wouldn't want to go near in a 10-foot pole. This house is probably going to end up being a hazmat area one of these days. Anyway, hopefully they'll be gone. Next week I'm going to be really busy. I do intend, I don't know what's going on Tuesday night, but I will watch AHSOKA and leave my feelings known. I want to talk about that. As we all know, right? I gotta do this. Sorry, guys. As we all know, AHSOKA Episode 5 is going to be shown at the theaters, and they're sold out. Nothing around here, of course, but Los Angeles, it's sold out. I don't know about New York City. I think they might be sold out. I'm not sure, but we'll just have to see what happens. I also want to add this. I'm only going to leave my live streams up for maybe a day and then delete them just because they take up space. And I think the uploads, the dead uploads, what I mean by the ones I record and then put up, are more important. Exploring different ways of getting to actually have guests on, which I think will help too. Anyway, this is all just to get a different point of view out on YouTube. Okay. Anyway, so why are they putting it out, AHSOKA out at the theaters, showing it for one night? Probably because it's a very big episode and it may just be the one that changes everything. I don't know. Look, we had been told that AHSOKA had to be good, had to be a success this season in order to get where we are now. Now, I'm not going to say that they'll alter the timeline now, but I am extremely shocked that they're already in the world between worlds. I want to talk a little bit about Anakin. So, one of the subscribers here, Yavin4, insisted that the lightsaber Anakin has is Vader's. Somebody else said that he has the scar on his face, but every picture I've ever seen, and when I watched it, I saw no scar. I didn't know it was a lightsaber. And a very rude person, not that I'm not rude, but don't talk down to me, okay? You know, you can say, hey, Steph, that's Anakin's lightsaber, you know, and do it in a way that is not going to make me want to go, oh, now you're getting condescending. Now I can do the same to you. Okay. It's Anakin's actual lightsaber. It is not Vader's. Okay. It is Anakin Skywalker's. It is the Skywalker lightsaber. It is the one that Obi-Wan picked up on Mustafar. Okay, so this is a whole new thing going on. Okay. We have the world between worlds. We don't know how AHSOKA got there. Now, let's say that when Morgan Elsbeth said, make the jump, and the Eye of Sion goes, whatever, and basically makes the Holdo maneuver look as gay as it was. It just, look, every time I think of the Holdo maneuver, I go, do you even know? And Pablo Hidalgo should have known this. When you make the jump into hyperspace, hey, Peter, you are literally going into a different dimension. So where you are, the reality that you are, you're not going to hit that thing. All right. Now, let's go to Rogue One. When Vader's ship comes out of hyperspace and those other ships are just going into it and they crash into it, that is completely different. That is a completely different thing because one ship is coming out, one ship's trying to jump in. Okay, that is way different than the Holdo maneuver. So, and it's in my opinion, it's basically kind of science, you know. But we don't know what that hyperspace jump might have done to the space-time continuum. Okay, she might have done something that affected Satos, and instead of drowning, Ahsoka drowning, she's in the world between worlds, and there's Anakin looking like he did before Revenge of the Sith. Somebody wanted to say that there was a scar on his face, and I can't, I mean, it looks like a shadow. There is no scar because you'd see it right here, and you can't see it. Okay, so I'm like, what are you talking about? But that doesn't matter. What is going on here? How is it possible for Anakin Skywalker, at what, young Jedi, to have found his way into the world between worlds? Is it Anakin? There are possibilities. It could be the son. Okay. It could be, Palpatine. Yeah, from long before Vader. And I think all right, I'll give you an idea. When you die and it is the end of time, and literal, your body is resurrected, your body and soul are put back together. This is Catholic Catechism 101. You'll come back at about the age of like between 33 and 38, whatever. All right. And this is what I mean. But a lot of different scholars have different beliefs. This is a very, very ancient Christian belief, by the way. And when I looked at Anakin in his ideal form, that's where that came from. Okay, so what are we looking at? The chosen one, the balance of the Force made manifest. Okay, are we? Is it him? Is it the son? Is it, could it be Palpatine? Hey Tara, I think rightly so. It's Anakin. Now, is it his ghost? When I first saw it and I first got pictures off the internet, he was blue. The whole thing was blue around him, so I thought, that's his Force ghost. But when I looked at him the next morning, pretty solid. So, did Anakin go through a manifestation? Well, yeah, but the Force, look, if Anakin's the idealized version, if he is the chosen one, and he is, the Force would bring him into how the Force wants him to be. Okay, how he was before Vader. Okay, before the scar on his cheek and everything else. And that, I don't think you have anything to do with that at all. I think that's what, whatever you did in your life before, and whatever's responsible for you, and then how God sees you, or the Force sees you, or however. And got to remember that the Force sees Anakin as the manifestation of the balance. Okay, so that is because that's why he exists, to remove the Sith and to bring balance. Now, when you go and look at the sequel trilogies, the balance of the Force is out of whack. All right, and insanely so, because it doesn't follow what George wanted. Okay, the Sith do not exist, and Darksiders, like, I mean, Snoke is a a clone. You know, Adam Driver's shitty character is just a punk who needed his ass kicked. Hey, Eldritch Lord Hastor. You know, and there is no, the balance is out of whack because a form of Palpatine exists. It's not the way Palpatine was, but a form of Palpatine does exist. And to me, when I look at Anakin here, this is the balance of the Force, and maybe he's there to help Ahsoka change the outcome of things. All right. Look, I'm going to tell you something. Ahsoka is now in the parks. Okay, she's walking around. And Harrison Dula is now too. Okay. And Ahsoka will be part of the Star Tours next spring. Hey guys, hey Mike. So this is a BFD. I mean, Disney's pulling out all stops for this. And you know, the problem again they have is the narrative. The narrative is still on the sides. It sucks from the, you know, blobby, fat, inbred fanboy, black pill morons out there. They, you know, they gotta hate it so you make money. I mean, look, I've had people come in on here and try to troll, and I've kicked them off. I don't want them around. There's no reason for them to be on my channel, I don't think. And now we're just waiting for Tuesday to come, okay? And we're looking at Anakin, it's like, what does this mean? The way Disney is acting, it's a pretty big fucking deal. All right, look, let's go through what we know. There are no sequel trilogy characters in the intro at all. And there weren't with Mando. Okay, not that a black pill would ever notice that. They don't care. Okay. If these guys were tea leaf readers and, you know, prophets, they'd be considered charlatans and snake oil salesmen. Okay. So there's that. That's a big deal. Okay. You know, obviously there hasn't been any work. Oh, and you're right, Peter. The people that are attacking Ahsoka, the black pills and the black pill blobs, are there to make money and there to cause trouble. They're basically making a living off of being trolls. And as far as I'm concerned, they have become what they hate. Okay, when you're faced with one, I don't care who it is, just say, I feel bad for you. You have become what you hate. Okay, and then go on. Okay, because they're not worth it. What was I gonna say? So, you know, there aren't any sequel trilogy things going on. In fact, I had somebody tell me that when you look at the vloggers that go to Galaxy's Edge, Kyle, Ron, and Ray aren't there anymore. And if they are, they very rarely show up. And there you go. Because look, Disney suddenly realized that original trilogy characters and George's ideas on how to do Star Wars make money. All right, we talked about the investment. Black pill blobs. They put so much money into it, they're never gonna get rid of it. You mean they invested so much money into it and lost all of it? Is that what you're talking about? When somebody says that, I know they've never put money into an investment account. No money market account, no stockbroker, no anything like that. Okay. I don't think that you're a pro at this, and I don't think you know what you're talking about, so. And there's that. What I And I'm gonna tell you guys right now what I see happening with this is it's going to open up a whole new conversation. Hopefully, it'll take the narrative away from the black pills, and they have to play catch up. Okay, look, the fans who stuck with it, even though they hated the sequel trilogy, even though they openly mocked the High Republic, fans who've stayed with it deserve to be happy. Okay, the people who scream that Star Wars is dead, and I launched someone off my foot saying that here in a comment, and squashed them like a bug beforehand. The people that say that aren't fans. They never have been. They don't care. They're not willing to fight for it. They're cowards. Okay, they're fucking cowards. And they don't deserve good Star Wars. All right, why? Because they don't understand it. They don't understand business. They don't understand money. They don't understand what George was even talking about 90% of the time. Okay, they don't understand it. And it's like, really? Really? So when I look at stuff like this and I'm like, you know, something big is happening, and I've got someone show up that I don't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit. He's not watching Ahsoka. He just look. A troll is somebody who wants attention. They're miserable. They're like the bully in school. Okay, who either needs his ass kicked or to be completely ignored. You know, just get out of my face. You know. And go on, and that's what you have to do. But anyway, so yeah, Ahsoka, and this is gonna be a big goddamn deal. I'm gonna be watching it with my earphones on in a hotel room because we're traveling, and it's gonna be like, it's not even gonna be a nice hotel room. It's gonna be a shitty one. It's gonna be this big. All right. I'm not looking forward to it. You know, so, but if it's what I think it is, I may have to go out in the hall to do a video, or downstairs in my robe to do a video, or I won't change clothes for bed until after it's done, so I can tell you guys what I think. Because I think it's gonna be big. I think actually, and I'm gonna tell you this told me that Disney and I'm gonna give you a little theory I came up with last night when I was laying there in bed. What if there were several different versions of Episode 5, or at least two different ones? One isn't the world between worlds. One is, and looking at Kennedy and seeing the fact that, you know, she won't resign. She has absolutely nothing to do at Lucasfilm. They decided to do the world between worlds now and change everything while she's sitting there to humiliate her further. I could see Iger saying, what are you doing with this? And John and Dave's saying, we filmed two different versions. We'll show them both to you. And him and Iger thinking, dude, let's re-up the timeline now. Let's reset everything now. Okay, because we were supposed to wait till next year, and now it's like, okay, that's how big this is gonna be. We're basically, and what's interesting is one of the guys on Comrade's Patreon said there's an 8-minute documentary about Ahsoka, and of course Kennedy barges her way in at the end, but they kind of need her to be part of it, at least a little bit. And but George is very front and center. I mean, literally, in it, he's part of the documentary, talking and hugging Rosario Dawson, etc. on the set of Ahsoka. Okay. And John and Dave are very much in it. And from what we were told on Cameron's Patreon, you guys got to watch it if you can, that it leans heavily into the original trilogy. Heavily. Okay. So I'm looking at whatever, and I'll tell you something else. What is the thing that tells you about an underlying current going on at a company? All right. At all. When Lucasfilm has a huge show on and it's gaining popularity called Ahsoka, and Pablo Hidalgo and his wife and the other flying monkeys aren't talking about it. They're pissed. And what it tells me is that this is where the timeline splits. So those motherfuckers can sit in the corner and beat off to Kyle Ron while we have Star Wars back. We leave these fuckers behind. That's what behavior says a lot. Okay, now about Kennedy. The Malibu 22575 Carbon Mesa Road is not the only piece of property that she and Frank own. They own another one in Pacific Palisades, or it was sold for $26 million to Millennium Trust. And I can't tell if they sold it back to themselves, but it is being estimated as being worth 38 million now. It's 14,000 square feet. It's huge. What I think they did was try to hide assets due for tax purposes. But that is, they still own that one, and it's not for sale. I personally, and without hesitation, want to ask out loud, how the fuck are they going to sell it in this market, especially in California? Okay, who could pay a monthly mortgage on something that's worth almost $40 million? Okay, unbelievable. So the show place, I think, is probably Malibu. It's overlooking Malibu Beach. It's a beautiful piece of property. It was I guess, maybe not mid 19th or 20th century, but kind of like that. Obviously, it's had a lot of upgrades. There aren't any pictures of the San Onofre Pacific Palisades property, but it's really big, and I don't see them being able to get rid of it. All right, why are they selling the Malibu house? Probably because they need the money. Okay, now I haven't seen Frank post any pictures recently, but let's go look. Let me grab the other phone. Okay, the reason why I talk about this is that it's basically intelligence gathering, and not about where they are, but about what is going on right now. So let's look at this. Nikki Sixx and his wife horseback riding in Jackson. I'm jealous. No, he hasn't posted anything recently. But this picture of their dog going to Malibu, Dakota. I like that dog. And that was on July 23rd, so that was before they put it on sale. That was still when, probably when Kennedy and the horsemen were going back and forth at each other. Or maybe it was they're getting the house ready to sell. Okay, look. Let's go back. When Steven Spielberg said what he said at the Indy 5 premiere, that was pretty much, you're out. Gone. Go away. Okay. that's what I'm basing their behavior on. Okay. So, we'll just have to see. I mean, they've rented out, they have a place they've rented out in Santa Monica for Kennedy Marshall Company. And I think there's another place closer in town, like in Burbank. I'm not sure. I'd have to go look. I tried to look at Pablo Hidalgo and his wife. Nothing. Nothing. I can't find anything. Ryan Johnson. Nothing. So, it's very strange to have access to this information and not those guys. But that's the difference in generation. Those guys know what the internet is, Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. I'm really like I said, I'm going to start deleting these after, like a day, maybe an hour. And the reason why is because it just takes up a lot of room and kind of puts a ding for some reason in my algorithm for my uploads. I'm like, I depend more on the uploads than I do this. This is just, for me, fun. I'm trying to figure out how to record Zoom calls so I can keep them. Oh, I know, Marty, but unlike JJ, at least he has a job. Think about it that way. He was able to go back to where he came from. JJ can't. I mean, I don't think JJ will ever quite be gone, but he's not the person he was. Because he was never the person he was. JJ is one of those guys that has gotten away with murder and being mediocre because no one ever called him on it when he was a kid. Spielberg never said, get rid of the lens flare. This is a stupid line in the script. Why are you doing it? No one ever challenged him. The JJ is, in fact, a spoiled brat and a participation trophy winner. Okay, so is Ryan Johnson, but he's got his own niche. I don't watch it. I don't give a fuck. There you go. All right, just please stay away from Star Wars. That's all I ask. Okay. So now we just, I did find out that, I did look up, and I actually haven't looked up Jon Favreau on Ownerly. I think he probably would be on Ownerly. Ownerly is it's a really cool website. So what else is going on? Really nothing. Sparrow has been completely quiet for 2 weeks, which, since the Flying Horsemen or the Horsemen are basically said if you call it leaking, you'll be fired. So I understand it. But my shock is when AHSOKA first came out, all Kristen Hidalgo could do was squee about the Loth Cats. Now nothing. Nothing. And there have been no leaks via any contacts of what episode 5 is going to be. And this tells me that it's fucking huge. Because, Jason Ward doesn't know what it is. I saw someone say they did know what it was, and then they didn't get back to anybody in DMs about what they'd heard. So I don't, it's like, I would think Doomcock would have a leak, and he doesn't. All right, unless he comes in tomorrow on a Sunday afternoon video and says, this is what I've heard. This is the story. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I've been on for about a half hour. I gotta go. I've gotta kind of start thinking about going to church. But you guys have a good afternoon. All right. And I'll talk to y'all later. Hopefully we'll have something to talk about for an upload tomorrow. All right. So you guys are on the galaxy.